What's up, everybody? Back with another quick video. I haven't been putting anything out. I've been busy. I've been job searching, and I went back to school so I can get my bachelor's degree. So I've been kind of busy, but I was watching this video, and I wanted to make a reaction video to it because I agree with some of the stuff that this guy is saying. I don't know his name, JS or something. I don't know his name. But I agree with some of the stuff that he's saying, but I also disagree with a lot of stuff that he's saying. And here's the reason why. The term dropout has been misused for the past 15 years, maybe. Now, when somebody was labeled a dropout, you can only drop out of something if you were clicked up into something. If you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, debriefing does play a part in it. But see, here's where the problem happened, or here's what the problem is. A long time ago, back in the days, I'm going back to the 80s. If someone was labeled a dropout, then that person knew if they dropped out that they would be touched. And if they weren't touched, a family member would get touched. That was a serious word back then. Now, where I think everything got all messed up, let me tell you a quick story. This was back in 2003. I was talking to this youngster. He was still in high school, and he was a little northerner, but I take that back. He used to be a northerner, and I was talking to him one day, and he told me he was a dropout. And I looked at him, and I started laughing at him because it was funny. I said, "Dropout? A dropout of what? What'd you drop out of?" He said that he used to be a norteño, but he dropped out. I said, "Aren't you? You're still in high school though. How can you be a dropout?" He said, "You don't bang no more." I said, "Oh, so that's the term you guys are using nowadays?" And so ever since then, I've been hearing a lot of people say they're dropouts. And the thing is everybody uses that term now. Everybody that was in a gang or whatever they were in, that they're no longer in, they say they dropped out. Now, like I said, back in the days, that used to be a serious word. And the reason why people are using it so much now, and the reason why so many people are dropping out and joining other gangs, and if you feel like they're provoking you, then they probably are. And the reason why there's so many of them is because a long time ago, if you were a dropout, you were going to get dealt with. And if they couldn't get to you, they would get to your family. They would get to you somehow, some way. Now, the thing is, the more people that started dropping out, quote unquote, nothing was happening to them. I don't know if it's the people changed or what changed or the laws changed. I don't know what the fuck happened. But as more and more people were, quote unquote, dropping out, nothing was happening to them. And that's where the term dropout just went out of proportion. That's why so many people are saying they're dropouts. or so people are calling somebody that left whatever they were involved in dropouts. Now that term was strictly for the OGs. You know, if you had status in something and you dropped out, that meant you debriefed, and that meant you told. So people that are being labeled dropout nowadays because they just decided they didn't want to gangbang on their street anymore, that's not a dropout. If you're just a regular norteño, a regular sureño, a bulldog, a wood, a regular African American, and you decide you didn't want to do it anymore, that's not a dropout. The term dropout just got all fucked up and by people using it. And back in the days, people didn't use it because it was sacred. It had to be hidden. People couldn't know you were a dropout because you'll get got. Now, these guys on YouTube that are labeled dropouts, unless they were a big OG, unless they were that and they debriefed and told, they would be dropouts. But if they weren't involved in none of that, they were just regular norteños, structure, whatever. That's not a dropout. Dropout is when you debrief. And that word just got taken way out of content, where it's almost like it's normal. You can hear somebody at the store speak freely saying they're a dropout. And that's because nothing was happening to these guys. And the reason why nothing was happening to them is because they weren't involved in the OG stuff. If you're an OG and you debrief and you drop out, you're going to get got. But if you're just a regular person and you decide you didn't want to gangbang no more, you're not a dropout. I don't know why people say that you're dropouts. You're not a dropout. You just wanted to change your life around. Or if you just wanted to kick it with other people, you know. So that term just got all fucked up. Now I wanted to make this video because the dude that's talking, you know, he's talking to some sense, you know, but he didn't mention anything about these dudes on YouTube. You're not dropouts. Unless you were an OG, you're not a dropout. If you got removed or you just decided you didn't want to bang Norton no more or suit anymore, you're not a dropout. You just wanted to change your life. And that term is just being used over and over. It's almost like uncalled for, you know, because labeling somebody a dropout can get them killed. Labeling yourself a dropout can get you killed. Because, say for example, if you have an OG from down south and they're, you know, active, and they overhear you saying that you're a dropout, then right away they're gonna think, well, you were an OG from up north, and you might get dealt with, you know, or you might think you were an OG from down south, and you dropped out, which means you debriefed, which means you told. You might get dealt with. So if I was you guys that are on YouTube, that weren't an OG, that weren't clicked up, I would stop using that term dropout, and I would start checking the youngsters for using that term. If you got to, you know, if it was up to me, I'm not promoting violence, but what I'm saying is, back when I was in my 20s, when I was younger, if I heard somebody use that term, they were gonna get their fucking jaw wired up, you know. And that's because when you drop out, you know, when you used to drop out, let's say like that, you used to have to debrief, which means you toe on a lot of shit. So if people can change it, um, if people can get at each other and let everybody know, you know, it's not really smart to use the term dropout. Even when they call your gang, your new gang, a dropout gang, that's that's a term that shouldn't be used by anybody, you know, especially if you weren't clicked up. And if someone would call you a dropout, they're calling you a rat. So, I mean, if somebody call, I'm not a dropout, but if somebody called me a dropout, they're gonna get their shit broke, you know, because if you dropped out, you told, and that's how everybody should do it. If somebody calls you a dropout, you should fucking wire their shit up, which means you should fucking break their fucking mouth, you know, because that term can get you killed. It can get you fucked off. It can get your family fucked off. You know, it can get, you know, that shit's serious. People don't take it as serious because nothing's happening to these people. Nothing's happening to people that are calling other people dropouts, and nothing's happening to the people that are calling themselves dropouts. You know, that's why people say it so freely. But if the wrong person hears that, you know, you probably gonna be fucked. So that's my message for today. Because I just wanted to talk some sense into people. You know, if somebody, you shouldn't call nobody a dropout, and they shouldn't call you a dropout. Anybody that even that word comes out of their mouth, they should get hit in their mouth. That's, you know, simple, point blank. You know, you left the group that you were running with. You left that. You went to another group. You know, they have no right to call you a dropout because you weren't clicked up into nothing. You know, so motherfuckers need to, you know, start checking people, start checking each other, start checking your own homies. You know, using the word dropout is something that um, was for the OGs. It shouldn't even be talked about. You know. So with that being said, just wanted to school you guys a little bit, give you guys some knowledge that you can get in college, because I'm going back to college. But like always, hope everybody's in good health. Hope your kids are in good health. Hope kids are safe. I'm out. Peace.